The sun beat down relentlessly on the assembled Israelites, casting long shadows and a sense of finality over the gathering. A hush fell over the multitude, a silence that spoke volumes of their respect and anticipation. Moses, their leader, their prophet, stood before them, a figure of immense reverence and authority. 120 years old, yet his eyes still burned with the fire of a life lived in unwavering service to God and his people. He looked out at the faces, young and old, etched with years of wandering in the wilderness, each line telling a story of hardship and hope. He knew his time was drawing to a close, a realization that brought both peace and a sense of urgency.
My strength is gone, my journey is ending.
This wasn't a lament, but a statement of fact, a recognition of the inevitable passage of time. The time for a new leader was at hand. A new chapter in their collective story was about to begin. Moses reminded them of their arduous journey, the trials they had faced, and the miracles they had witnessed along the way. He recounted the exodus from Egypt, a monumental event that had shaped their identity. He spoke of the parting of the Red Sea, the manna from heaven that had sustained them. He reminded them of their sacred covenant with God, a bond that had guided them through the darkest times. He spoke of the law given on Mount Sinai, the divine commandments that had become the foundation of their society. Through it all, God had been faithful, a constant presence in their lives. He had led them, protected them, and provided for them in ways that were nothing short of miraculous. But Moses knew that he wouldn't be leading them across the Jordan, a bittersweet realization. This next chapter, this next conquest, would belong to someone else, a new leader who would carry forward the legacy. Moses gazed at the crowd. His eyes fell upon Joshua, standing tall and strong. Joshua, his faithful companion, his chosen successor.
Joshua will go before you.
Turning back to address the Israelites, Moses reassured them.
The Lord himself goes before you.
Their God, the God who had never left them, would be with them as they moved forward. A wave of anticipation rippled through the crowd. This was no ordinary transition of power. This was divine orchestration, a passing of the torch ordained by God himself. Their destiny, though uncertain and fraught with challenges, was secure in the hands of the Almighty. And in this moment, fear gave way to hope, uncertainty to anticipation. Moses wasn't leaving them empty-handed. He had something of immense value to impart, something more enduring than any weapon, the book of instruction. This sacred text, containing God's laws and commandments, was to be their guide, their compass, their lifeline.
This book of the law shall not depart from your mouth, but you shall meditate on it day and night.
The words resonated with power. This book, meticulously scribed, held the key to their success, their prosperity, their very survival. It was a beacon in the darkness, a source of wisdom for generations to come. The people listened with rapt attention as Moses spoke, engraving his words upon their hearts. But Moses' next words cast a sobering tone. He knew human nature, its inherent fragility, its susceptibility to temptation. He warned them that there would be times when they would stray from the path, times when they would forget their covenant and turn to other gods.
And after you have rested and grown fat, you will turn aside from the way.
Prosperity, he knew, could be a double-edged sword. It could lead to complacency, to a dangerous sense of self-reliance, to a forgetting of the God who had delivered them. The allure of the foreign, the excitement of the forbidden, could easily lead them astray. Section 5, the price of straying from the path.
Moses didn't sugarcoat the consequences of disobedience. He was clear and direct. He painted a vivid picture of the hardships, the afflictions, the unimaginable suffering, the calamities that would befall them if they abandoned the covenant. The destruction would be total. And the Lord will scatter you among the peoples, he warned. He proclaimed, his voice booming across the silent assembly, echoing in their hearts. And you shall be left few in number, their beloved land, the land of their ancestors, the land promised to their forefathers, would vomit them out. They would be exiled, lost. Their very existence would be threatened. The struggle for survival would be relentless. The price of disobedience was high, the consequences dire. The cost was almost unbearable.
The weight of Moses' words settled upon them. They felt the gravity of his message, the joy of the promised land, The beauty and bounty of it, the triumph of their imminent victory, was within their grasp, was tempered by the sobering reality of their own human frailty. Yet, within this warning, this stark message, within this stark portrayal of potential downfall, lay a lesson, a chance for redemption, lay a glimmer of hope, a hope that they could change their fate. For Moses also spoke of repentance, of turning back to God, of returning to God with all their hearts and souls. And in that return, they would find forgiveness, restoration, and a renewed covenant with their God, a promise of a new beginning, a fresh start. Section 6, a promise and a warning.
Despite the stark warnings, a thread of hope ran through Moses' final address. He reminded them of God's enduring love, his faithfulness that never wavered. Even if you are driven and scattered to the ends of the earth, he assured them, his voice resonating with unwavering conviction, the Lord your God will gather you from there. No matter how far they strayed, no matter how dire their circumstances, God's love would pursue them.
This was a promise, a covenant etched in eternity. But it was also a warning, a reminder that their choices had consequences. The path ahead was fraught with challenges, with temptations lurking at every turn. Their future, their very survival, depended on their obedience to the covenant. Section 7, embracing the mantle of leadership.
Turning back to Joshua, Moses laid his hands upon him, a symbolic gesture of transference, of empowerment. This was no small task he was entrusting to Joshua. He was to lead a nation, to conquer enemies, to establish a new home. Be strong and courageous, Moses exhorted, his voice filled with paternal concern, for you shall cause this people to inherit the land.
Joshua, standing tall and unwavering, accepted the mantle of leadership. He knew the challenges ahead. He knew the weight of expectation resting upon his shoulders, but he also knew that he wouldn't be alone. God, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, would be with him every step of the way. He was ready. Section 8, courage in the face of uncertainty. The future stretched before them, an uncharted territory ripe with both promise and peril. Moses' final words echoed in their ears, a constant reminder of their covenant with God. They stood on the precipice of a new era, a new chapter in their collective story. Fear and excitement warred within them, a heady mix of anticipation and trepidation. Yet, amidst the uncertainty, there was also an undeniable sense of hope. They had seen God's power firsthand. They had tasted his faithfulness. They had the book of instruction to guide them, and they had Joshua, their divinely appointed leader, to lead the way. They were ready to face whatever lay ahead. Section 9, the unwavering presence. As the sun began its final descent, casting long shadows across the assembled crowd, Moses turned and slowly ascended Mount Nebo. There, on that solitary peak, he would breathe his last, his eyes fixed on the promised land he would never enter. But his legacy, his leadership, his unwavering faith would continue to inspire and guide the Israelites for generations to come.
And so the mantle of leadership passed from me to Joshua. A new era dawned for the children of Israel. The journey ahead would be arduous, fraught with challenges and uncertainties. But they would face it head-on, armed with their faith, their courage, and the unwavering presence of their God.
Section 10, a timeless message for today. The story of Moses, Joshua, and the Israelites is more than just a historical account. It's a timeless message of hope, resilience, and the importance of trusting in a power greater than ourselves. Even today, thousands of years later, their story resonates with our own human experience. We too face challenges, uncertainties, and temptations. We too long for guidance, for reassurance, for the strength to overcome the obstacles in our path. Like the Israelites, we have a choice to make. We can choose to rely on our own strength, our own wisdom, our own limited understanding, or we can choose to place our trust in something greater than ourselves, to seek guidance from a power that transcends our human limitations. Section 11, finding strength in the journey. The journey ahead may be long, and the path may be winding, filled with unexpected challenges and obstacles. There will be moments of doubt, moments of fear, moments when we feel like giving up, when the weight of the journey seems too much to bear. But let us remember the Israelites, their unwavering faith, their resilience in the face of adversity, and their determination to keep moving forward despite the hardships. Let us remember Moses' final words to Joshua. Be strong and courageous, for these words were meant to inspire and guide through the toughest times. For in the end, it is not our own strength that will see us through, but the strength we draw from our faith, our values, and our unwavering belief in a power greater than ourselves. This belief fortifies us, giving us the courage to face any challenge. Let us embrace the journey, with all its twists and turns, knowing that we are not alone. Each step we take is a testament to our resilience and our collective strength. Like the Israelites, we have been given the guidance, the strength, and the courage to overcome any obstacle and emerge victorious on the other side. Our journey, though arduous, is a path to growth and triumph.